I guess the question is, did he jump or was he pushed?
Well, undoubtedly pushed.
Yeah.
I mean, in a completely embarrassing episode, tawdry series of events. Then you saw this astonishing statement that he released last night. Obviously, he's in New Zealand at the moment.
Yeah.
He was consulted as well. No doubt he'll be furious that his own tour has been,
Scuppered, really. Nobody's really bothered.
Nobody's talking.
I mean, you're
about
supposed
it
to be there.
I'm supposed to be there. We cancelled it because of the absolutely cascade of headlines that are coming out.
I'm sure you're not the only journalist that's not going to be at that tour, because there is no... And it's a shame, because it's an important tour. He's talking about climate change.
Talking about climate change, something that he's really interested in.
He must be raging.
We should be absolutely talking about that as well.
Of course.
And now, this astonishing statement that was put out... We've got, Andrew saying, I continue to unequivocally regret my ill-judged association with Jeffrey Epstein. I deeply sympathise with everyone who has been affected.
OK, why did he not say that in the interview, then?
Well, that is the question.
You know, that, I mean, that,
if
those sentiments and that tone had been in the interview, we would not be sitting here talking about it now.
An absolute car crash of a performance. His, the faux eyebrow raising, the Pizza Express line, talking about that he remembered that and didn't remember meeting Virginia Roberts. Now, if he'd have only apologised to the victims, if he'd have sympathised, if he'd showed some empathy...
I just don't think it was there. I don't think it's in him.
I don't think
really
it was at all. And
that's my opinion, but I don't think it was. Now, look, this could get serious. He did say in the statement that he was willing to talk to anybody, perhaps, help with investigators, I believe.
Well, for the first time as well,
yes.
because, he obviously said in the interview that if it was the legal advice that they would take, now he has said that unequivocally he would go ahead and be interviewed by the FBI. And I think this could be a real serious point, because if the FBI want to talk to him, there's already noises from lawyers representing Epstein's alleged victims saying that he needs to speak to the investigators. The Met Police could reopen an investigation that was canned, a few years ago. So, this could be an absolute astonishing turn of events.
Absolutely. I mean, the thing is, there was something in the papers today saying that his alibi is looking a bit shaky, possibly.
Well, we've got these potential police logs. So the burgeoning question is, if he has royal protection officers, then they would need to keep logs of where he was at all the time.
They'll know exactly where he was.
This alibi of his daughter's party at Pizza Express, this could all come tumbling down like a deck of
Talking about
cards.
his daughters, Beatrice is set to get married next year.
She is, yeah.
They put the other ones on TV. Eugenie's wedding was on television.
Affair.
It was televised. It was a big, huge royal thing. I don't think that's going to happen this time, somehow.
No, I wouldn't say so. I know Beatrice wanted a smaller affair than Eugenie. She was
anyway.
St George's Chapel, but I would bet my money on it being at a castle somewhere, or maybe even in Italy, where her fiancé is from. It will be away from prying eyes. I don't think we'll be able to see Andrew walking around with his family this time at all.
It's so interesting, isn't it? Because all of these things, we had, and the spotlight's been taken away from Harry and Meghan. You think what vitriol they got compared with this. It was nothing,
well,
absolutely nothing.
If they've got any sense that they'll just disappear for a few weeks to America.
Yeah, of course. But it's so interesting because we have got the situation of Prince Philip is old. I mean, he's 98 years old. He's not as involved as he would be, obviously. And do you think that's had an effect?
I do actually. I think, he's always been the disciplinarian. Obviously, the Queen is the monarch. She's the head of the royal family, but he was always the head of the family. He was the disciplinarian. His children had a deep respect for him. And with him missing out the picture, who is advising them? I mean, the argument is, these are men in their 50s to 70s.
Indeed, they shouldn't really need their dad.
He should have known better than to put himself forward for this absolute car crash of an interview, thinking that his ego got in the way, essentially. And without Prince Philip there, who is advising them?
You've got to feel sorry for the Queen. You really do.
Hugely.
And it's this weird thing. Everybody keeps going on. It must be horrible, actually, for Charles and Edward, because everyone keeps going on about this is our favourite son.
Yes.
Which is horrible. I think that's
you're
really
not supposed to have a favourite anyway, are you? But it's always been said.
I don't know where that's come from.
I'm sure he's not the favourite anymore.
No, indeed.
He's the absolute toxic nature of him being associated with it, and that's why the Queen had no option but to tell him you've got to go. And
that must have been very difficult for her.
Astonished if we ever see him in public life, to be honest.
Do you think that's it?
It has to be, surely. If big business charities are pushing you to the side, then what is your role?
Well, let's see what happens, because it's not gone away.
It's not going to go away.
It really isn't, Russell. Thank you very much indeed.